Hey, Sports World, another episode of Sports with Psycho Sam. And week 4 starts tomorrow. But before we get into all that, my predictions and everything, I got some news. Bryce Callahan, the Broncos cornerback, is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He just had surgery on his foot. Something that he's been dealing with this whole time. Really wish he could be back on the field already. Much needed help there, but we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in 4 to 6 weeks. But first game, get down to business right here. Thursday night football, Eagles versus the Packers. I got the Packers winning that 30 to 17. I think the Packers are gonna be too much for the Eagles, especially with their injuries. They say Alshon Jeffrey is gonna be back, but Deshaun Jackson is still hurt. Packers are the #1 defense right now, and they have 8 turnovers. They've taken the ball away 8 times. They look really good. You know, been really getting after the quarterback, Preston Smith, and Zadarius Smith have been on a tear, and that defense just looks great. Darnell Savage, the cornerback, the safety that they drafted, looks really good. Jair Alexander, the cornerback, is coming into his own, and that defense just looks pretty good out there. Aaron Rodgers and that offense, seems like they kind of falter in the second half. They need to do something to switch that up if they want to compete with the teams like the Chiefs or the Patriots, because that won't work with those, upper echelon teams, the hierarchy, the teams that score a lot and also play good on defense. But I have the Packers winning, and going into Sunday night game, or not Sunday night game, Sunday's games, you have the Redskins versus Giants. I have the Redskins eking out a small victory here, 17 to 13. Daniel Jones looked great, but I don't believe in the Giants defense this week, and I think the Redskins will run the ball more and control the game, and I think they'll put more pressure on Daniel Jones, and I think he's going to make a couple mistakes in this game. And then also no Saquon Barkley. He's going to be out for a little while too. High ankle sprain. So that's why I have the Redskins winning that one. Chiefs versus Lions. I have the Chiefs winning this 45 to 20. Looks like Patrick Mahomes is on record pace for 6,000 passing yards, which is just unbelievable. They look really good on offense. They got a lot of weapons, and Patrick Mahomes seems like he's not really getting touched. You got to get pressure on him. You got to get sacks on him, and you got to stop, their run game to make them one-dimensional. But they already pass a lot as it is. But you got to get that pressure to even have a chance. The Chiefs are going to win that one, though. I don't believe in the Lions' offense or their defense against the Chiefs. The Chiefs look really good right now. Titans versus Falcons. I have the Titans winning 24 to 21. I think they'll bounce back in this game. The Falcons have been struggling, and they also just lost Keanu Neal, one of their safeties, their top safety actually. ACL tear, so he'll be out for the rest of the season. That's not good for them, and I just think they need to find themselves. They need to find a running game with Devontae Freeman, and Matt Ryan needs to play better as well. The Browns versus Ravens. I have the Ravens winning this 27 to 20. Ravens have a better defense, and I think Lamar Jackson's going to ball out. And, so I think they're going to win the game. I don't think the Browns have found themselves yet. I don't think they're clicking on all cylinders when it comes to all their pieces that they just got in the offseason. So it's going to take a week or two more to start really getting rolling with them. Then you have the Raiders versus the Colts. I have the Colts winning that 20-17. It's going to be a close one. Jacoby Brissett looked pretty good. I'm not sure if Marlon Mack is questionable or not. But if he's going to play, then it's going to be a lot of ground and pound with him, I believe. And I believe they come out 20-17. Patriots versus the Bills. I have the Patriots winning 35-13. Their defense looked great. Tom Brady looks good. And they just have a lot of weapons over there to pass the ball around. A lot of running backs that do a good job catching the ball out of the backfield. It's kind of hard to cover all those guys that Tom Brady moves the ball around to. You know, he doesn't just concentrate on one person. He spreads the ball around, and they do a really good job of that. And that offensive line is really good as well. They just know how to plug some people in, and it works. Their system is really good. So that's why I think the Patriots sorry, are going to win the game. And then you have the Panthers versus the Texans. I got the Texans winning this one 30-17. I know Kyle Allen looked good, and Christian McCaffrey is phenomenal, and that defense is pretty good as well. But I think the Texans, Deshaun Watson, you know, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, those guys go out there and get it done. I expect a good game from J.J. Watt. I expect their defense to start picking it up as well. So that's why I had the Texans winning that game. Chargers versus Dolphins. I have the Chargers winning this one 40-10. I mean, come on, the Dolphins haven't really done anything this year but trade everybody away. And it seems like they're just hoping for the draft. Phillip Rivers, I believe, is your quarterback of the week. I mean, he's going against the Dolphins. Come on. So, yeah. And I also believe Keenan Allen is your wide receiver of the week in this game. They'll be tag teaming that one right there. Bucks versus Rams. I have the Rams winning 38-20. Jameis Winston hasn't really been playing too well. He's up and down. They haven't really had a run game going. Their defense looks sloppy. The Rams have a high-power offense. Todd Gurley, Jared Goff at quarterback looks good. Cooper Kupp is doing really well. They have Robert Woods. You name it. They got a lot of weapons over there. It's hard to stop them, and they're really good on defense as well. So they're going to win that one pretty easily. Then you got the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. I had the Seahawks bouncing back 23-16. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I just don't see Kyler Murray outplaying Russell Wilson. So that's why I have them winning that game. Vikings versus Bears. I have the Vikings winning 27-17. Okay, so this all depends upon how the run game goes, okay? If Dalvin Cook and them can run the ball really well, then they are going to definitely win the game, because I'll leave it easier for Kirk Cousins. But if the Bears defense come out and ball out and put a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins and they stop the run game, then I see the Vikings possibly losing that game. I'm just being a realist here. And it also depends upon Mitchell Trubisky, how he plays and how their run game goes as well. The Vikings, you should not sleep on their defense. They have a really good defense as well. So this is going to be a really good game right here. It could go either way, but I got the Vikings winning by 10. Jags versus Broncos. I have the Broncos notching the first win of the season right here, 28-14. I know Jacksonville came out and got a whole bunch of sacks against the Titans Thursday Night Football. They did a really good job against them, but I don't see them doing it this week. I see us cleaning up our mistakes. I see us getting after the quarterback and Gardner Minshew. He's been doing good this season, but I think Von Miller and Bradley Chubb get their first sacks of the season. And I think we get a couple turnovers this game as well. It starts right here. This is a game, if it's now or never, it's get this win and see what happens from there. I see, a lot of winnable games in the near future. So we need to start rolling right now if we're going to have any hope of at least going even. We got to have another nice run game from Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman. They both did a really good job. And that was not a holding call on Emmanuel Sanders. I don't care what anybody says. That was a BS call right there. The Broncos didn't have too many penalties when it came to holding. Garrett Bowles did a better job, but he did give up a sack. So I'm still unhappy about that. But you can't be perfect all the time. I mean, this guy hasn't been perfect, I don't think, ever. But still, he did a really good job not holding. That was a key point. Hopefully he cleans it up from here and he doesn't give up a sack as well. They look really good. I want Emmanuel Sanders to do a better job. They need to get him involved more as well. They only have 4 targets. He had 2 catches for 10 yards. Man, that's not good. You got to get your best wide receiver going. You got to target him the whole game. And Courtland Sutton did a really good job. Hopefully he keeps it up the whole season. If he does, that's going to be really good for us. The run game will make it easier on Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco's got to get rid of the ball, man. He's been holding on to the ball a little bit too long. Some of these sacks are on him, but they've been on the offensive line most of the time. But some of the time it's been Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, man, you got to get rid of the ball, let it go, or you're going to have to step up and run. Don't be afraid to. You see an opening, take it. You can't sit back and let them hit you all game long. Also, our defense, we got to play better. Even though we are not getting sacks or turnovers, we're still up there, ranked, I believe, 9th overall on defense and yards and everything like that. So if we can just get turnovers and get sacks and get pressure, I think we will be a really hard team to beat. We already are a hard team to beat right now, even without the sacks and the turnovers. Everybody's saying this and that about the Broncos, but if you look at the statistics and everything like that, we're still ranked high. So just imagine if we are getting sacks and if we are getting turnovers, what's going to happen. And our offense needs to stop turning over the ball, fumbling the ball. Noah Fant needs to do a better job securing the ball with both hands. He was just out there loosely carrying it, but that's rookie mistakes. They're going to get on him about that, and he's going to do better. I know he is. And Joe Flacco, like I said, has got to get rid of the ball. He was stripped, sacked. So that's how he fumbled. And then also in that Aaron throw was unnecessary. Wasn't even a receiver in the vicinity of the football. You can't make mistakes like that. Those were killers right there in the game against the Packers. You're setting an Aaron Rodgers up for success. You're setting him up to score. Like inside the 5-yard line, past the 50-yard line on the other one. Like you can't make those mistakes in that area. And you can't make mistakes when our defense isn't having them make mistakes. We're not getting turnovers, we're not getting sacks. So you got to play a dang near perfect game. No turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. No holding penalties. and the wide receivers and tight ends besides Cortland Sutton and Emmanuel Sanders need to get involved in the game more, get open, give your quarterback options. Like our next leading receiver, I believe, is Philip Lindsay after Cortland Sutton and after Emmanuel Sanders. That's not good. I mean, we got to have a third option out there, a fourth option out there for Joe Flacco. But I think that'll come in due time when our running game gets a little bit better. They did a really good job against the Packers, and I'm looking forward to this game. And go Broncos country. On to the next game, Sunday Night Football, Cowboys versus Saints. I got the Cowboys winning 31-21. It's going to be a tough road for Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints. Drew Brees is out. He had surgery on that hand. The Cowboys run game, Ezekiel Elliott, I believe, is your player of the week for the running back, and Alvin Kamara as well. Those are the two running backs that I would start if you have them. Michael Gallup, I believe, is going to be a big factor in this one. And also Amari Cooper has looked great. Cowboys defense is going to get after Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints. I expect a few sacks from DeMarcus Lawrence, and the Cowboys are going to win that game. Bengals versus Steelers on Monday Night Football. Alright, I got the Steelers winning 30-24. I think Mason Rudolph has looked really good. I think Juju Smith-Schuster and James Conner do a really good job in this game. And I think TJ Watt gets after Andy Dalton in that offense. Haven't really seen too much out of Joe Mixon this year. That's very disappointing. I thought he was going to be doing a little bit better this year. But you never know, man. So yeah, I had the Steelers winning in that one. Bye weeks, Jets, 49ers don't play this week, so they're out. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do that. And if you want to hit that like button, go ahead and do that. Alright, till next time. Rah.